Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. La 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 la. Fa la 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 la. Fa la 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 la. Hey, Becky. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Becky? Oh, does not have audio. Got it. Any questions for me? Before we get started? Hey, Brenda.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Good. Jeez.
Becky or Brenda, do you guys have any tricky properties to help do a CMA for?
Well, Bruno would have been a good one with the land.
Yeah.
Trying to figure it out, but that's probably not very helpful because you don't come across it that often. Probably something more normal, maybe. I don't know.
Okay. We'll see if anyone else. Is there anything specifically that either of you would like me to cover at all? Hi, Megan.
Just keep going through the process, Ross, and the whys.
Okay.
Whys and hows, so it clicks in better. I mean, yeah, that'd be great.
Hey, Dan. Okay. All right. As people keep on coming in, I will just kind of start going through what I typically do. So let us see here. All right. Can everyone see my screen okay?
Yeah. Hey, Ross, are you recording this? Can you see on yours?
I don't know. It says, please request recording permission from the meeting host.
Shoot, from Ann. Okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna text Ann really quick and see if she can do that.
Okay.
I will be right there. Hang on.
Not sure who admin is, but hello. How's it going,
Yeah,
Jackie?
I think it's Ann. I think it's Ann, but I'll double check.
Oh, Becky says that on her screen it says recording. So I'll just start going through the process. Unless Jackie or Dan or anyone, do you have any trickier properties that you'd want me to kind of go through on?
I'm
I
good.
don't.
Okay. Let's see here. Who can I pick on then? Let's do, Somerset. I bet that would be a no. Let's see here. Acreage is usually a pretty tricky one to do. So if we do, that one is not a good one. Let's see here. Sorry, I should have had something pulled up. Let's do this one in Hudson. It's on 5 acres. It's listed by, hey, the Jason Gorman team. So Becky and Jackie should know this one pretty well. So what I typically do is I always use the general search function. If you guys have questions, just pipe in whenever. I don't really have the chat box or anything open, so I don't know if you're writing anything. So I always go to general search function first and foremost. Typically, I check coming soon, active, TNS, pending, and sold. And then what I did was I just grabbed this MLS number right here. You can just double click, copy, paste. This is on 5 acres. So doing a quarter mile around the property probably isn't going to be very effective. So you can just do this drop down. Probably start at 2 just to see kind of what is out there. It's a single family home. I generally start very specific and then broaden it. So I'll just do right here, close date 0 to 180 days to start out with. We currently have 81 matches, which seems like a lot. So let's just drop it down to 1 mile. And now we're at 8. So this is a pretty good representation of just the broad overarching market for this particular property. If we look at it, so here's our listing right here. This one's on acreage, this one's on acreage. So these ones that don't have acreage probably don't want to consider. So what we would do is go 1 plus just for now. And that gets us these. So just very, very quickly, it gives us a fairly good representation of what's out there. So this one is currently pending 400,000. I haven't even looked at the subject property yet. You know, little dated, not great marketing wise. It's on 7 acres, 2,300 square feet. So if we look at our subject property, it's 4,200 square feet, 4 bed, 4 bath. And I'd say it's more updated than the other one that we were looking at, bigger, a little bit less acreage. So with that one pending at 400, I'd say we're probably over this one. Plus it has baseboard heat, which ours has central AC and furnace. And it's only 2 bath. You can also, on acreage, it's also important to get a feel of what kind of acreage it is. So if you just click right here, up in the upper left, switch that to satellite, you can usually get a pretty good idea. So this is almost all completely wooded acres. If we go back to our subject property and do the same thing, this one has a little bit more open yard, but again, is almost all wooded acres. It can make a difference if it's farmable, if it's on a cliff, if it's, you know, wetland, that kind of stuff all plays into account when you're looking at acreage. So that one, I guess, would be decent. Again, this is a split entry. It's a lot smaller. Not the greatest comp. This one, only 2 bed or 2 bath, smaller again. This one is now getting closer, 4 bed, 4 bath, 3,700 square feet. Pretty dated though. So I start as specific as I can. This one, you know, sold for 415. It's currently listed at 589. They just did a price reduction on it. Was at 600. Since there aren't a ton of great comps, now I start broadening it out. So I go within 2 miles rather than 1 mile. I go back 365 days, but I actually want to get rid of all the smaller ones. So I'll do 3 baths or more, and I will do 3,000 square feet or more and see what that brings. So now there's 21 results, and these are a lot more appropriate prices. So if we look at the map, a lot of them are southwest of us. So we can probably bring it in to a mile. The other thing to check is to make sure that they're all in the same school district. So Hudson, 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 and Hudson. So they're all in the same school district, which is good. These are probably going to be the four best. Well, they're still all smaller. So maybe just go out 1.5 miles. So now we can take a look. So 4,200 square feet. This one's pretty darn similar, it looks like. Listed at 600. Yeah, some kind of goofy first photo. Wouldn't recommend doing that. Big kitchen. Really no updates since it was built, looks like. 5-car garage. You can notice just from the pictures that the entire yard is all slanted, which is not preferable when it comes to acreage. So that's listed at 600,000. If we go to these other ones, so this one's newer construction. Ours is built in 2000. This one's built in 2013. It's quite a bit newer. Similar square feet, a little bit less acreage, sold for 650. This one again, built in 2015. So nicer. This one's 1996, 4-bed, 4-bath, 3,600 square feet, 4 acres. This one's actually pretty darn close to ours. So if we go through this, just kind of take a look at the pictures, see what it looks like. Has mudroom benches, has a private master. And if we just kind of compare it to the subject property, this one's probably going to be the most similar, and it sold for 540. So you just kind of look through the pictures. And I'd say they're pretty darn similar. You know, they have a nice 4-season porch, big laundry room, a wet bar. So those are all bonuses, but it doesn't necessarily equal a $40,000 gap. They're both 3-car garage, 4-bed, 4-bath. So I'd say that's a pretty good comp to go on. This one, 5-bed, 5-bath, smaller acreage, probably a little bit nicer. So we'll do that. This one's a little bit smaller, a little bit more dated. So once we really get our top choices right here, and let me just pull this up to make sure. Anyone have any questions so far? No? Okay, so what I like to do is right here, you highlight the closest comparable sales. Go to CMA, so actions, CMA right here. You can create a contact to find it later or not, up to you. These are the ones that I always do. So if you press the plus button right here and just click the CMA map layout, then click the plus button and then comparables. If you click on comparables graphs, it's going to bring everything. We don't want everything. So don't click on the total, the title. Just open it up and then click on the specific one you want. Then click on adjustment subject and go to summary list. You can get fancy if you really want and do price adjustments. That's a little bit more advanced and complicated. You can do that, but oftentimes you don't need to. Once you get those three, go to subject. Now you can either put in the MLS ID number or the tax property ID number. If there isn't an MLS number, what you can do is pull up Realist. So just to show you, if you hover over, let's get rid of this. If you hover over tax and click Realist, it brings up this page. Can be a little finicky to search, so sometimes you need to search 2 or 3 different ways. So if we go 527 Francis Avenue, pulls it up right here. Sellers are Charles and Amy Bailey. You can get a lot of information if you've never been to a property before, or if it's never been on the MLS and you don't really know what there is about it. You can find a lot of information. So like right here, it's Town of Troy. So it actually has lower taxes than most other houses, which is nice. It does give you tax information. I always double check with the property, with the county specifically to verify these numbers. It gives you a lot of characteristics of the house, of the lot. There are a lot more specifics on Minnesota houses. Wisconsin doesn't have as many specifics in this particular spot. You can see estimated values. So 497 to 686. Looks like that was as of last week. It shows previous MLS information. So like Jason Gorman team, it was canceled June. And then usually it does show all of the information on when they bought it, how much they bought it for. It also pulls in mortgage history, so you can roughly guess how much they actually owe on it. Even when you're writing offers on properties, I always look at this information, because if they own it free and clear or they have a lot of equity in it, they're more likely to negotiate. So I also look at this information right there as well. Getting back to what we needed, so this right here is the property ID number. So you can just copy that, paste it right into this tax property ID. Oh, maybe, of course it doesn't work. Just use the MLS number for now. You can manually edit all of these fields. So like if it was previously sold back 4 years ago, you can change these dates, you can change the numbers, you can change and edit all of these to make it the most accurate as possible. Then once it's in there, I always go to comparables. And what I do is highlight them from here, click print, and then I just do, let's see here, where is it? Photos only right here for the listings. Because what I will do is I will print out the actual CMA report and then just feather the pictures in so that they can actually see what it is that we're comparing the house to. And that's just flipping it like a book where they can see all the stats, they can look at the pictures, they can make the judgment right then and there if it's better than their house or not. So like this one doesn't have an actual asphalt driveway. So yeah, save this, print it out. Once you do that, then you can go back. Again, I always click on map just to make sure that they're best comparables. So like this one, they're all right off a Cooley Trail. Technically, it's different neighborhoods, but on acreage, it doesn't matter as much the neighborhood that you're in. Townhouses and condos, you want to make sure it's in the same development. You want to be in the same development regardless as much as possible. Sometimes that's just not possible. Once you do that, click finish. then you can save it, email it, view it. For right now, we'll just view it. So this is what I print out and actually show to them. It gives the subject property right here on the left. Then it gives side-by-side comparisons. So like for the pictures, this one with just a gravel driveway, I'd print out all these pictures and put it at the very next page so that as they're looking through this list right here, they can look at the pictures and make their own judgment. Right after this house, I put Jordan Lane. And then right after this page, I put Brianna Lane. So this gives a side-by-side comparison. The other thing that I'll do is I'll handwrite notes about them. So like for this one on Orchard, just gravel driveway, I'll just make notes of whatever I see from the pictures, whether it's good or bad, and I'll usually put pluses or minuses next to them so that it's a visual indication that I've actually really gone through the pictures, really dissected the properties. This is a pro, this is a con, and without me saying anything, they're looking at that and taking that into account so that it helps them have a much more accurate, realistic price. Down here at the bottom, it gives a summary. So 4-bed, the average is 4.3 beds, 4 baths, 3,500 square feet, $142 per square foot. We're over the average of total square feet, and we're right at the average for price per square foot, which there's a law of diminishing return. So the higher the square feet, the lower your price per square foot. So even at $589, I'd probably tell Jason that he's still overpricing it. But don't tattle on me, Becky and Jackie. Once I do this, the next step for me is to double check and verify that I am accurate. So what I'll do is I'll go into InfoSparks. And if you don't know how to get there, just hover over home, go to InfoSparks, click it. This is what pops up. So you can search by school district. So like the 622 school district. You can search by city. You can search by county. Different parts of St. Paul and Minneapolis, you can actually search by the neighborhoods. So you can search by all those different things. The other thing you can do is you can create your own. It's like for this one, here's Cooley Trail. So let's just say we want this area, because this is where our subject property is. Save it. Boom. Okay, saved, done. Now, we go back here, and if you click on My Areas, test area for CMA class. So this gives you a very quick glimpse of the overall market going back 3 years. You can do single family. Since it's previously owned, there are some new construction in here. So if you just look, 525,000, if you click on previously owned only, goes to 515,000. Traditional, we want 2,500 square feet or more. You can do 4 bedrooms or more. You can do waterfront. You can do all that kind of stuff. So right here, I'm just going to take this out because we want as many as possible. So it's showing the average sales price is 605,000. It's up 29%. And this is just because there probably isn't that many houses historically in this price point in this area. So you can do this. You can also go here, go to bar, and see actual bar graphs. You can go to So what I always do is I always do sales price, and I do months of supply. So like right now it's 2.8 months. So if nothing else new were to hit the market, it would take 2.5 months for everything to completely sell out. And I print these out and print them. You just press print and then print them from there. Pretty simple. Again, I print all these out as a way to double check my own work, but then also to give another source of information to my sellers to make sure that we're on the same page for valuations. I also print out days on market. So just so that they're realistic, so I'm not getting a phone call with them frantic, like saying, it's been a week and we haven't sold yet. What's going on? We heard the market's so hot. Well, it actually is taking on average 2 months before getting an accepted offer and getting it sold. Here, there's 21 sales so far this year in this area. Currently 20 pending sales, only 5 active sales. Right here, you can also see another price per square foot, 149. So this is really twofold. It's to help me double check my own work to make sure that I'm not missing something completely once I'm really honing in. And then it's also, just like I said, a second source of information to have the sellers be more realistic in their pricing. So once I do those two things, the next thing I do is I write right here in pen, typically a price range of $25,000 increments of where I think they're going to land. Or if I know more narrowly, I'll write the exact price that I think we will land and I'll circle it. So when I give them this entire packet, I'll ask them right up front, what do you think your house is worth? And every single time without fail, well, I don't know, Ross. That's what you're here for. Why don't you tell us? I have it written down. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page and that we're not wasting anybody's time. Because if I'm way off, then this won't matter and let's just not do business. So they always give their price. And then I walk them through each specific property, show them the pictures, let them see the notes, get to this page. Before I go to the next one, I always ask them, do you want to change your opinion at all? Or what do you think it's worth now? Every single time without fail, whatever price they say at this particular point in time is within my range that I have written down right here. And when I go to this page and I flip it over and they see it, they're always like, how the hell did you do that? Well, it's because I took the time to analyze it from multiple different angles, show you all the information that I found, and good news, we're on the same page. So I think we're talking realistically about price, and I think we can make this work for you. Very next page that I show them is the estimate proceeds. Right after that is the listing contract. Boom, done. We have a listing. So that's kind of a quick overview of what I do for CMAs. What questions do you guys have? You want me to go back and show anything else? Is there specific things that you've struggled with or hurdles that you've ran into that I can maybe help you overcome?
Well, Ross, some of the problems I've had recently is pocket neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
For example, there's a cul-de-sac, well, just for example, North St. Paul. The houses are running in the 4s and everything comparable within a few miles is 2s and 3s.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously with appraisals, we've got to be concerned. How far do you go? I mean, when there's no history, right? So it's
Yeah.
neighborhood, everybody lived there for 20, 30 years. Everybody's happy now. We're starting to move. You know, how do you handle those situations?
Yeah. Do you have an address?
Yeah, I really don't, because there's actually somebody else on our team, Andrea, ran into this recently. And
Okay.
it ended up well for her. It was a VA loan, but they did jump into Arden Hills. They went from North St. Paul the appraiser went all the way to to Arden Hills to have that appraised. And that, in my experience, isn't how they normally do it. So,
Yeah, that seems
yeah,
a little
so
extra.
I'm sorry, I don't have a subject property. So it's more
No, that's okay.
with lack of history, right? Here in
Yeah.
Hudson, there's, tons of activity. It's like when we don't have that history or activity,
Yeah.
the knowledge should I look for?
Let's see if I can't find that pocket neighborhood. So all I did was list price 400 plus, North St. Paul, active coming soon. Let's just see what happens.
This, I want to say this closed a month ago. I wish Andrea was on right now. She should know the address.
Okay.
We just had
I'll
a
just
lot of.
do 0 to 90 days.
I want to say it's sold, maybe
Mm.
sold for 379 or 389.
Was she on the buy side or the list side?
It's on the buy side.
There you go. It's right here. 2585 Sean's Way,
Is that
St. Paul.
Oh, yeah, okay. You're so smart.
You can always find a lot of different things just by figuring out how to search. So if we do this particular one, let's just do a quick CMA on this. So again, coming soon, active, pending, sold, comp sold, all single family. We know it's a trickier property, so I'm just gonna instantly go back 0 to 365. This one, quarter of a mile, 8 results. And like you said, there's 220, 258. So especially on the buy side, when I'm worried about something appraising, there's a couple of things that I do. So I see that there is one sale that hit 400,000. So I'll just kind of check that one out. So it's 0.27 acres, 3,000 square feet, 3 bed, 4 bath, 3-car garage. Look at the pictures real quick. So it's sold and it's not really updated. You can tell by the appliances, by the countertops, the cabinets. So nothing's really been done since it was built. And I just know that from the golden oak cabinet tree, from the trim that I see, it's built in 92. So this, if we go back to the subject property, this one's built in also 2002, 3 bed, 3 bath, a little bit bigger. Again, the golden oak cabinet tree. They've updated some of the countertops, updated some of the appliances, the double oven, lots of built-ins, which is nice. All right. So a couple ways that I approach this is, again, you can look at all the realist information just by clicking on the property ID number. So first thing, I just scroll all the way down to the bottom. So they owe 285 back in 2004. So if they've been paying it off regularly, they're probably around 16 years ago, probably owe around 200,000 on it right now. So they built it. It's like they've owned it since 1980 and it was built in 2002. So it looks like they probably built it for around 310,000 plus whatever down payment they had. So this is one way I can kind of tell is, okay, it's given an estimated value of 533. The other thing that I'll do is if I go back to the search, close out of the one that I wanted. No, there we go. Right here, so if it's a very pockety neighborhood and I know that, what I'll do is rather than a radius, delete that shape. This will show you everything within a year. But what I'll do is I'll just go like this. Then I'll actually delete this out completely, the close date. And then go back to, so like, just do 400 plus. So this is everything in the entire neighborhood that's ever been listed over 400,000, no matter when. So Sean's Way, I pull up the map. So this cul-de-sac, these ones right here. So 430. Selected that one, and then this one, 420. So these are on the same stinking cul-de-sac. An appraiser won't necessarily use these because they're older than 6 months or a year. But this gives you justification of broadening the search because yes, the houses in this cul-de-sac are higher price point. So 430 sold back in 2018. A little bit bigger yard. We look at it. Some updates, but not very many. If we go to this other one, 420, back in 2007, there's only just the one picture. So I would say there is justification to dig further into it, just because of what I see on that cul-de-sac.
So you basically then hit criteria to do that? You map?
Yeah, you can jump through any 3 of these tabs just by clicking on them. So it doesn't delete things out. Like this is results. This goes to the map. So I deleted out the map. You can find recent searches up here. So if I want to jump back, I think this is this one. Yep. So this goes back to my original search where I can start manipulating the data again. So now that I know that justification is there, you can click this circle right here and just go out half mile. And really what you should do is, where's ours? Here we go. You should stay in the same school district, especially this is a family home. Whether they're private or public or not, you should stay in the same school district. So what that appraiser really should have done is put in the same school district going back a year. And then let's just see what all is out there. So we have ours, obviously, but then there is this one that did recently sell. It's in that same neighborhood for 400,000. Actually closed for 400,000. It's nice to have more of a comparable, so let's just bump it out a mile. Now we're at 6 results. So if we go back to the map, you're getting closer, North Maplewood. Here's White Bear Lake. I don't know why they went. You said Arden Hills or Vadnais Heights?
Again, it's not mine. I just remember talking to her about,
Oh,
I thought it was Arden Hills. And I was like,
that's
weird.
that's
The whole thing was weird.
crazy.
Comp it. There's a good comp from a year ago. So
Yeah. So like this one, built in 1989. It's not the same exact neighborhood. Split entry, nicely updated. It's pending at 440. There's this one in Maplewood that's in the same school district, 418. Jackie, do you know, did the appraisal come back at value?
it was lower, and then I don't know if they appealed it or what. It was a VA loan.
Okay.
Yeah, I know the appraiser ended up using Arden Hills to get it through. So they did end up getting it through, but it was an issue. And I remember just getting a call. What do I do? It's a pocket neighborhood, but I didn't comp it. I talked through on the phone. I mean, there's a good comp. I would have had all this sitting in the kitchen for the appraiser.
Yeah. Well, this one wouldn't be a good comp because it's new construction.
No. That 400. There was one that sold.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So there was
this one.
So there was a good comp.
Yeah, I would say all of these
Yeah.
are good comps, and I would say 500,000 is overpriced because the absolute max just north, it's a newer construction, even more square feet, bigger lot. sold for 465 with 10,000 in seller pays.
Price was
So
479, and that's what happened, or three.
yeah,
I
so
don't-
that's kind of my process is I start super, super small. I find everything that I can find in that small little pocket area to justify if it's crazy or not. If it's not crazy, then I start slowly broadening out the criteria until I get enough evidence or info to make a more realistic opinion of price.
Thank you.
Yeah, does that help?
Absolutely. Just even watching how you navigate through just what buttons and what I'm not using right now. I know what I'm not. I've been trying to snap some pictures. I got on a little late. I don't know if this is recorded or what, but I've been trying to at least snap some pictures through the slides so I know to go back and
Sure.
utilize this more than I have been. So very helpful.
Cool, good. Sometimes you're just dealing with crazy sellers that are asking ridiculous prices. And my philosophy is, if it's super crazy, well, I don't want to set you up for failure. So let's not even go down that road. If it's slightly within the realm of possibility, I'll say, I never want to dictate what the market will bear. So we can try it, but if we don't get an offer or a handful of showings in the first week, then we're going at my pay or my price. Megan just said that it is being recorded.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's what I thought when I jumped on a couple minutes late. I thought I had heard that. So awesome.
Mhm.
This is very,
Yeah.
very helpful.
Good. What other things are you guys have you come up against that you didn't really know how to handle, struggled with, questions about? I have lots of tips and tricks on how to do things faster or better. Anything? Brenda, Dan? Anything I can?
Oh, Ross, it's just repeat performance, really. And until I get there and get stuck on something, yeah. But it helps seeing it over and over and your logic behind where you're coming up
Yeah.
with these. Sure.
So even when I'm doing my own CMAs, I'll essentially do like 10 CMAs, analyzing it and dissecting it from every single angle to make sure I'm not missing anything. Nothing makes you look like an idiot more than showing up to a listing appointment and them asking you questions about a property that you didn't research. You're like, I don't know, didn't look at that one. So I always like to make sure that I see everything that's ever been on the market in their specific area so that I'm not surprised. And then really just start super, super specific until I get typically 5 to 6 really, really good comparable sales to base my judgment on. And that's also my listing presentation. I kind of copied Jason's no script or no listing presentation, where it's all just about their motivation, asking them questions, asking them why they want to move, and then tying it into the CMA. Because if the numbers make sense and I can answer all their questions, they're signing the listing paperwork. If you do a special presentation all about you or the team or whatever it is, usually their eyes glaze over and they're bored out of their minds and they don't hear anything that you have to say. So if you make it all about them and answer their questions directly, you usually have a really good shot of just signing it right then and there. What other questions or things have you seen come up recently? We have about 18 minutes before Jason's class, so. Brenda?
Nothing special, you know, each one's,
I'll just chime in if nobody's gonna
Yeah.
talk. Turning into, I've got a couple listings, appointments, and or I have a listing in Minneapolis coming up shortly here, and just dealing with what the value's worth from a year ago to today is just really, really difficult. It's a difficult comp. I mean, if you're watching them now in certain pockets, right, every week we're on and we're not live, we're losing value. That's just
Yeah.
been for me. I don't know if you guys have been through shifts and have been through this. I've only been doing license for a year and a half, been in real estate, but this is a difficult conversation, I guess.
Yeah. What price point is it in?
It is obviously under 300. Most of mine are.
Yeah. If it's under 300, I would challenge you on your mindset. It's not losing value. Under 300 is skyrocketing still to this day.
Not off of Aldridge. I mean, there's some areas that are fine. My
Sure.
my interesting neighborhoods are changed
Yeah.
just in the last.
So,
few months.
do you
What is-
have that address?
Yeah, can we look at it? Well, I priced it out, but it'll be nice to know. It's not active yet, but it's the listing. It's oh crap.
Was it ever on the market?
In 2013.
Sure.
It's 5461 Aldridge Avenue North. And I could
5461, you said?
5146. I'm sorry.
Oh,
46 Aldridge Avenue North. Yes, let's play with that and see if what mine
Sure.
came up with this. What your number? And now we need it to sell because we bought before we sold. So we have a high
got it.
motivation.
All right. So, just from the old listing, looks like they bought it at 101,000. 2-bed, 1-bath. Is it still 2-bed, 1-bath?
It's a 3-1. Just
3-1. Okay. 2-car garage, which is nice in Minneapolis. A lot of them are either no car or 1 car. We zoom in. So it's on an alley. You have sidewalks. You have curbs, which is nice. There's no major commercial. It's off of bus path. When you're in Minneapolis and St. Paul, you always want to watch out for the higher traffic roads. Those will have a negative effect on price. The fact that it's not on one of the higher traffic roads is nice. If you scroll out, in Bohannon, so pretty much on the verge of Brooklyn Center. So if we just do, again, 1/4 mile radius around the MLS number, all of these, 0 to 180, single family. In this particular instance, it's important to have the same type of garage. In some cases, I'll even do 1+, or more so if it does not have a garage, you want to put 0. If it's only a 1-car garage, you want to put just 1, because that can rule out buyers completely. So we're at 17. This one, it only has 1 bath. So we have 10 that range from 140 to 225,000. So if we just kind of start going through, did I say Brooklyn? Yeah, so this one's Brooklyn Center. This one's a different school district, so I'll get rid of that one. Now, if we go through them, so this one's listed at 225. It is a 1-car garage. We have 1,500 square feet. How does it compare, scale of 1 to 10, condition-wise to this one, Jackie?
Similar. This one's slightly more updated. The kitchen.
The Camden one is?
Yes, a little bit.
Okay. Good to know. This one, 1,400 square feet, 1 less bedroom, does have a 2-car garage. How does it compare to this kitchen?
Mine's better.
Okay.
Which is nicer.
This one, also a 2-bed, quite a bit smaller, but this does have a 2-car garage. How does it compare?
Same. Similar.
Sure. Is yours boiler or is yours furnace
Furnace.
and
Fairly,
AC?
yep.
So this one, 3 bed, 1 bath, fairly similar square feet, 2-car garage. It is furnace and AC. A little bit older
Yeah.
kitchen. This one's on a bigger lot, which actually does matter quite a bit on city lots. That's almost a double lot. If it's done correctly, you can even potentially split it, but it looks like it's not. So that one's 185. How does it compare to this one?
About the same.
Even has the parquet floors.
It's got wood floors. I'm sorry, I didn't see that those are parquet. There's a nice shade. I didn't see the parquet. Very good.
192. So I'd say based on these, you're probably, these ones you're going to start having, yeah, a lot more square feet, probably a lot more updated. It's updated. This one's probably going to be updated. Yeah. So based on what you've told me, you're right in this area. So if you just click on those, go to CMA, pages, map, comparables, summary list, subject. So this is a good example of you can use the previous MLS number. It'll actually even pull in the old picture. So here you can just delete out these dates. So like they sold it for 101. If we're wanting to do 185, these. And the reason why I did both of those, I'll point it out in a little bit. You can change all these. So like we now have 3 bedrooms. Comparables, go to map. So it shows exactly where all of these are. Again, none of them are on any of the major through streets. They're all good comparables. The reason why I updated the list price and the sold price is right here. If I didn't, this would not be accurate, this price per square foot. So that's why I updated that. So you can see 138 per square foot is the average 3-bed, 1-bath, 1,300 square feet. These are the most comparable sales. So at 185, we're still low. The fact that we have more of the average square foot, again, the law of diminishing return, our price per square foot should be below this number just because of that reason. So like this one, very similar square feet wise, has 125 per square foot. If we just do 1568 times 125, that's 196 for sale price, essentially. The way we can also double check this, this is in Lynn Bohannon, I believe, yep. So if we go back to InfoSparks, click here, just type in Lind, maybe. Lynn Bohannon. You can click, so if you click on one and you want to add a different range, you can click that price point. You can also click custom. So like if we don't want that big of a gap, do 224 to 250. Now we have these two ranges. So you can do this, add it. So now it's combining both. Get rid of some of these other ones. There we go. So now it's combining both 100,000 all the way up to 225,000. If we click this, it now splits them so you can see side-by-side comparisons. So $158 per square foot from 100 to 200,000, $130 per square foot, 200 to 225. Since we're on the higher end, we should probably be around that $130 per square foot, which if we go back here, is right in between 125 to 138. If we go to sales price, yeah, 202, 169, months of supply. This is exactly why I say prices are still skyrocketing. That's insane. Even in Lynn Bohannon, that's extremely low levels of inventory. So I don't think it's as dire as you're making it out to be. And we are going to see inventory levels continue to drop because of the winter months, which means that there's less competition and more sales price for your sellers. So it's actually great for them right now. So yeah, that's kind of how I would do that. Based on this further dive into price per square feet and InfoSparks, I'd say you're actually probably around that 195 to 200,000 range,
Thank you.
which is a little bit higher than the average. What was your initial thought on price?
Well, I've been struggling with 199, 200 to 225, right? One of the two. So I think I've made my decision.
Yep, I don't think you're above 200
Okay. I would agree.
based on what we saw. And if you do this, even if they're thinking over 200, if you do this, you show them these comparables, you have the pictures, you pull up the InfoSparks, none of it says over 200,000. And unless they're just completely delusional and unrealistic, which I hope they aren't because they have to sell if they are actually buying elsewhere, this will help them be realistic right from the get-go and put you guys in a much better spot. The other thing that you can do and that I would recommend you do is just doing a quick search for the price range that you're at, 175 to 225, and seeing what's out there. So this is everything that you're competing against. There's 43 listings. If we narrow it down even more, so we only have one bath. What was that?
I think that I've seen a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of inventory out there right now.
Yep. So one bath, two or more car garage. There's in this same, all of it's kind of considered North Minneapolis. So it doesn't really matter what neighborhood it's in. They're going to be comparing all of them. So you have 180 to 220. You have 4 of them that are listed at 200,000 or higher. And if we just kind of click through this one, so this one has an accepted offer at 180. So you would actually be competing against this one, 185,000, built in 1907. What are we? Yeah, so we're quite a bit newer. You're going to have weird layouts to it. This one's listed at 195. And it's super ugly, terrible photos. This one is listed at also 195, a little bit smaller. but it's pretty clean and well kept, close to Victory Memorial Parkway, which is a bonus boulevard there. This one's newer, but it's a split entry. So just kind of see where you lay exactly with the current competition. And that also goes into my judgment. So I'd say we're probably better than these two. This one, borderline. This one, probably not, just because of the age and how updated it is and open, and that's what buyers are liking right now. Once we get to 200,000, this one's just overpriced. Plus, it's right off Lowry, which is terrible. Once you get to 210, it's small, but it's super updated and cute and open. You're not going to be competing against those houses. So I would stay under 200. And I'd probably price it right in between these guys right here. It's like right at 195.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Yeah. What other questions you guys have? Well, hopefully this was helpful. I know Jason's class is starting now. If you have any other questions, give me a shout. Otherwise, have a good week.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
See you
Russ.
guys.
Thanks, Ross.